Hey guys, Nikki here. We're back once again with part 3 of the Lucha Underground Power Rankings. Episode 12 is now officially in the books, so let's go back through the last 4 weeks and take a look at how things have changed over the last month or so. But before we do, here is last month's Power Rankings. Get a good look at it because it is about to change really quickly. So, before we get too into the countdown, let's start off with some honorable mentions. First up on the honorable mentions is Drago. Huh? How the mighty have fallen. Right now we're seeing the big heavy hitters of Season 2 all filing in. Your Matanzas, Dragones Tega, Rey Mysterio. And as a result, some of the stars from Season 1 have had to come down a notch. Like you'll notice, most of the people who were really big in Season 1 really aren't quite as big in Season 2. I mean, Mundo, Cuerno, of course Drago right here. Even the ones at the very top, like Puma's getting overshadowed by Phoenix and Rey Mysterio, and even Muertes is getting topped over by Matanza. Like, we're starting to see new people come in, and as a result, the old people have to come down a notch. And Drago has not gotten a single win throughout all of Season 2. His only cool moment so far was that bathroom scene where he was nunchuck fighting everyone. Like, he desperate. Like, if he wants to get back into relevance and maybe get another crack at the Lucha Underground Championship, he needs to start getting some momentum back. And similarly, Jack Evans. Like, maybe this is just because so many people have showed up over the last couple of episodes, and the Drago, Jack, Aerostar, PJ Black feud is kind of, like, it hasn't really shown up. Like, I think the last time we saw anything from it was during Aztec Warfare. So, both Drago and Jack Evans, basically just by not showing up over the last several episodes, have both fallen outside of the top 15. Also falling out of the top 15, the Mac. Which is sad, because I like the Mac, but guy's been racking up some losses lately, and he is still on a winning side with Sexy Star, but like, he's getting beaten down a lot, and getting beaten down and not getting wins, especially with all these new people rising up, it's going to hurt you in the rankings. So the Mac has to come down a couple spots. Next up, the Disciples of Death. They've still done nothing. But next week they are getting a shot in the Trios tournament, so maybe now they'll finally get back to relevance. Like, at this point, it seems like if they don't get back to relevance and lose this Trios tournament, they are proper fucked. Because Mil Muertes was about this close to killing all three of those guys after they failed to win the titles back in episode 10. And Katrina said they will not fail. So at this point, if they are going to survive past the end of this season, they need to get wins. Like, they're in dire need of it. Because if they don't, well, then they're going to go back to being their normal selves, as we talked about in the last video. Next up is Daga. Now, about 4 hours ago, I had no idea who Daga was, and when he made his debut in the latest episode, I was just like, who is this guy? I have no idea who he is. He looks like the front man in a heavy metal band, but who is he? So, Vampiro gave us the lowdown about him. He's made his name in Mexico, he tagged with Tejano for a little while, and he specializes in Japanese shoot-style wrestling, or strong style, and that's what I like to see. And he put on a match with Tejano that was brutal. It was fast-paced, and it was stiff. I like that kind of match. So, right off the bat, he is right up among the best of the honorable mentions, and if he has a couple of more performances like that, he might just break through into the top 15 come month number 4 of these videos. Next up, Taya. Damn, Taya keeps looking good. Like, Taya is not afraid to get the holy fuck beaten out of her. Like, goddamn, she gets hit in the face a lot. And she just comes back for more every time. I'm quite frankly really impressed with her. Like, the only problem is she doesn't get wins, which is a common theme among most of the people in the honorable mentions list. Like, Taya gets the frick knocked out of her on a very consistent basis. And she's really good at selling. And she has some cool moves. But, man, I really want to see her win because she's really cool to watch in the ring. And she's got this look in her face, like Vampiro talks about it from time to time, how she just has this look on her face like she just loves beating people up. And she has that sadistic smile on her face like, it's good. It's fun to watch. I like it. Next up, the crew. It's finally time for me to give the crew their due. That rhymed. So, in episode number 11, in the first match of the Trios tournament, you had the crew and Joey Ryan taking on the Mac, Marty, and Mariposa. And damn! Holy hell, where has this crew been? Because, like, Cortez Castro has consistently shown, yeah, he's pretty good in the ring. Cisco, though, has always been kind of, like, just punch in the face and be kind of crazy looking. Both those guys, Cisco and Castro, brought their A game during the tournament and just started pulling out moves where you're just like, damn, look at you go, Cortez Castro and Mr. Cisco. I like the look of this. For the first time in their careers, these two looked like bona fide professional wrestlers. So, gotta give them props. They're moving on to the next round of the tournament, and I kind of hope they pull this thing off. That would be really cool. And on that same team, Joey Ryan. Oh man, Joey Ryan never ceases to entertain. Whenever I watch him, I am thoroughly sports entertained. Wow, I feel bad for saying that. And I liked his idea during Aztec Warfare where he tried handcuffing himself to the fan rail. That was a good idea in theory, but yeah, that didn't end up working out well for him. But either way, I thought it was great. Also, Mariposa and Marty the Moth. Mariposa's not quite doing it for me, which is sad because the person behind the mask is legitimately great. Like, she's one of the best female wrestlers on the planet. And she's just not living up to the hype. It's kind of not great. Like, her movements in the ring feel a little bit robotic. And it's just kind of like, me. I don't know if... Like, hopefully she'll get some improvements in the coming episodes. But, like, so far, the best I've seen from her is just me. Like, she hasn't gotten up here yet, like some other female competitors in Lucha Underground have done, and we will talk about them in a little bit. And finally, Cobra Moon, who, believe it or not, had a good match. Yeah, in episode 11, she fought Ivelisse, and that match was legitimately great. I liked that match. It showed both of those ladies just going after each other, and Cobra Moon implemented a lot of submissions into her offense, which is something that she did a little bit in her earlier matches against Bengala and Sexy Star, but now in her most recent match with Ivelisse, which, by the way, stop having her fight the female wrestlers. I thought that there weren't supposed to be divisions in this thing. But either way, and besides that, I think she's fought them all now besides Mariposa, and I don't think they're going to fight anytime soon. But like, Cobra Moon legitimately impressed me during her match with Ivelisse. Part of that may have to do with Ivelisse being in there, but I'm going to say that Ivelisse had a good hand in it, so... Oh, and finally, one more name to put on the honorable mentions, and I'm not sure whether I should or not, but the top 15 was getting really crowded, and I was having trouble finding places to put all these guys. Pentagon Jr., like, I don't know whether or not he should be off this list or not, because he is kayfabe-wise out for a good long time. Like, Matt Stryker implied that he may have fractured his vertebrae in his match with Matanza, kayfabe-wise, of course. So that will probably knock him out of commission for the next couple of episodes. I say couple of episodes with a fractured vertebrae. These guys are crazy. Either that or maybe, just maybe, this stuff isn't quite as real as we thought it was. But either way, once Pentagon comes back fully healthy and ready to kick the living shit out of Matanza, it's gonna be good. Alright, finally, on to the top 15s. At number 15, we have Killshot, my favorite! Yay! So yeah, it was only a matter of time before Killshot finally got on this list because he finally won a match. Hooray! Yeah, it was against Argenez, but for the better part of season 2 so far, he has basically been the deluxe jobber. Like, if you needed a good match and you needed to go over, you fought Killshot. He had a really good match against Mundo, and he had a really good match against Cuerno. And both times, he ended up looking really good in that match. And his only other match so far this season was a 4-way match that wasn't even on Lucha Underground. It was on the YouTube channel, the El Rey YouTube channel. And he put in most of the offense, and Joey Ryan stole the win. So it's good to see that he finally got a win. I believe this is his first singles win. And I really, really hope that this is the start of good things to come for him, because he had himself a really cool vignette where it basically explained his entire character. He's basically a U.S. Navy SEAL, or U.S. Marine. Can't get that mixed up. They don't like that kind of thing. But, yeah, U.S. Marine, spent 13 months overseas as a POW, and, yeah, pretty cool moves. And, like, his match with Argenez was really good, and I think he may have killed Argenez, which is good for him, because he now can hang out with his disciples next week. Oh, wait, I'm not funny. So the match between Argenez and Killshot was really good. The only problem with it that I have is a weird problem that doesn't arise very often in Lucha Underground. The commentary was a little bit heavy-handed with the military references. Like, I know Matt Stryker is a little bit hammy at that kind of thing, and he does that sort of thing a lot, but it's just a little much. But either way, the electric chair folding brain buster, that's tasty. I like that. I like that a lot. Number 14, Tejano. The guy's pretty basic in his moves, but damned if he hasn't perfected them to a polished shine. Like, Tejano had his match with Daga this week for the first of the 7 Aztec medallions. Oh, by the way, they're bringing back those matches as well. Likey. And like I said before, Tejano and Daga put on a stiff freaking match, and it wasn't Daga who was alone in the stiffness. Tejano was bringing his own variation of stiffness, and it looked good, and it did a lot for both men. I really like that match. It wasn't quite match of the night, because we'll get to match of the night, let me tell you about that. But, whew, good match right there. And Tejano won, making him the first recipient of one of the gold medallions that will lead to a Gift of the Gods match. Interesting. Can't wait for that to happen. And I'm looking forward to it. Number 13, Sexy Star. Looks like the Sexy Star we all know and kind of sort of like is back in full force. And hang on, let me take this watch off. That was a little bit of too much of a shine, and we already get too much of that from my glasses. But Sexy Star appears to have gotten her mojo back, much like the great Austin Powers. Nope, cut that joke out. That was bad. And now she's ready to face Marty the Moth and Mariposa with Mac at her side. And it's going to be good to see, because admittedly, with the storyline that they've had her going through with Marty the Moth, it's been kind of like, I really hope that she gets her swagger back, because, like, this Sexy Star that we're seeing is kind of, it's good, I guess. It's a compelling story, I guess, but at the same time, original Sexy Star is a little bit more fun to watch. So, like, sometime in the next couple of weeks, we're probably going to get a tag team match between Sexy Star and Marty the Moth. Or, no, Sexy Star and the Mac versus Marty and the Mariposa. So, that'll be fun. Cool. Number 12 is Angelico. Now, he hasn't had a ton of opportunities to show himself over the last couple of episodes. The only appearance that he's had was in episode 10 in the elimination match, where he basically took out one of the members of the Disciples and got eliminated by one of the Disciples. So, like, he's one of the victims of so many new people joining the fray, is that he had a decent performance, but because he didn't have a great performance, he's still going to come down in the rankings. It's a sad reality, but this is where we are. Number 11, Son of Havoc. Son of Havoc is in kind of the same place. The only difference is before, Angelico was ahead of Son of Havoc in the last power rankings. Now, Son of Havoc is ahead of Angelico. He really got a chance to show what he had in the elimination match, which is good because for the most part with this team, the focus is usually on the other two, with Angelico's high flying and Ivalice's crazy submissions. Son of Havoc kind of gets overlooked, but he really got a chance to show what he had, and he took out the last two members of the Disciples on his own. Like, he had a little bit of help from Ivalice, like taking out Katrina, but yeah, like, Son of Havoc really got a chance to show what he had, and he did a good job. So he gets to fall not quite as far. So, Number 10, King Cuerno. This is not good for the King. Like, his only appearance over the last couple of episodes was in Aztec Warfare. He appeared at number 3 and lost to an armbar from Rey Mysterio. And he didn't just lose to the armbar, he tapped out like the second Rey put it on. That is not good. Because, like, King Cuernos is supposed to be a little bit better than that. Like, he just, like, as soon as he put on the armbar, which, by the way, Rey Mysterio isn't exactly known for an armbar. Like, that's not even a signature move of his, but the second he gets it put on, what the hell, man? You're better than this. I don't know. I guess he's another example of, like, the Season 1 stars starting to come down, because they got to make room for the new Season 2 stars, but still, that sucks. Cuerno's too good to be just falling like he is. Like, I hope he gets a good rivalry, or at least a squash match that he can reassert himself with, but for right now, it's not looking too great for the King. Number 9 is Johnny Mundo. This is what I was talking about. Like, he keeps, this is another one, keeps falling, and this has kind of been the case for most of the season. Like, even though he's getting paired up with Taya, like, he's still not getting a ton of results, which is weird, because you'd think that, you know, he would maybe get some wins after that. I mean, they lost to the Crew. No disrespect to the Crew. Like I said, the Crew's starting to really come into their own, and there was a little bit of a distraction in the form of the Machine, but the only reason that he isn't fallen further is because of what happened in the most recent episode involving the Trios tournament, where basically he took a Super Rana from El Dragon Azteca and a 630 splash in a sequence of like 5 seconds, and he's still kicked out of that, okay? Very few people have kicked out of the 630 splash. I could probably count it on one hand. And he kicked out of the 630 splash plus the crazy high Rana. Like, it was almost like a Tower of Doom thing, and Dragon Azteca was on the top of that tower. And damn, how do you kick out of that? Kayfabe is dead. So Mundo, he gets to not quite fall as far. So, number 8, Dragon Azteca Jr. So this is kind of interesting with Dragon Azteca, because right now he's had 2 appearances in the ring. Like, he's had a shitload of promos so far, but he's been in the ring twice. Once in Aztec Warfare, where he had a good showing for a little while, had a crazy cool dive over the turnbuckle. That was cool. But when Matanza showed up, like, he bit the dust along with everybody else, even though Dragon Azteca did get a decent amount of offense in. Like, decent for facing Matanza. And the other time was in the trios match that I talked about, which was a phenomenal trios match. Like, damn. Like, Dragon Azteca really needed to prove himself in that match, because you look at the people he's partnered with. He's partnered with Prince Puma and Rey Mysterio. And, like, you've got to pull your weight in that kind of thing, because otherwise you're not going to get mentioned. It's just going to be the team of Rey Mysterio and Prince Puma +1. No. After that match, it was Rey Mysterio, Prince Puma, and Dragon Azteca Jr. I feel like I keep pronouncing Dragon wrong, but I think it's Dragon. I don't think it's pronounced like dragon. Dragon Azteca? Maybe, I don't know. Dragon Azteca, let's just call it that, because otherwise I'm going to feel like I'm botching this. But Dragon Azteca Jr., like, he pulled out all the stops, and I wouldn't be shocked, maybe not this season, but at some point in the future, Dragon Azteca Jr. is going to get a shot at Matanza, and you know it's going to be brutal, because Dragon Azteca Jr. still believes, and everybody keeps telling him, that Matanza was the one who killed Dragon Azteca Sr., which he didn't. But, this, it'll be interesting. But, for now, at least in the ring, Dragon Azteca is really showing that he deserves to be basically thrusted directly into the main event scene. It would just be nice if his mask didn't look like it kept falling into his mouth, because, like, the part that goes right here, it keeps falling into his mouth. And it's not a good look, because it constantly looks like he's chewing on his mask. And it's got the opening right here. It's not a good look. At number 7, Ivelisse. Like, yeah, she has to fall a spot too. The only reason that she's falling a spot is because during the elimination match for the trios titles, she got eliminated first and didn't get a chance to eliminate anyone herself. That's not good. That's not good at all. But she did drag Cobra Moon to her best performance so far. Maybe that's a little unfair to say, but Cobra Moon had her best match, and it just so happened to be with the best female competitor on the roster. You can call that a coincidence if you'd like. But Ivelisse, she's still doing really good. I'm kind of wondering where the trios tournament is going to end up. Because it's going... And I bring this up because this is where Ivelisse is. But, like, last year, we had a trio... Like, a 3-way trios elimination match to decide the new champion. Maybe we get a fatal 4-way trios elimination match involving... Well, right now we know... Joey Ryan and the crew, Puma, Dragon Azteca, and Mysterio, and the dysfunctional team, and probably someone else. Maybe there's like a fatal 4-way elimination trios match between those 12 people. Wow, that'll be a clusterfuck and a half, but I want to see it. That's going to be fun. But either way, I think it's going to be great. At number 6, Phoenix. You kind of knew this was coming. Like, at Aztec Warfare, came out number 1, fought valiantly, and then Matanza came and murdered people. And then in his rematch against Matanza, he got his shit pushed in, like, really hard, and it looked like he was about to get his head caved in when Katrina and Mil Muertes, which is kind of weird. They made the save and made sure Phoenix didn't die. Is that coincidental? Is that part of a storyline? Is maybe Katrina still into Phoenix? Oh. But Phoenix, man, the time that I recorded that the last video really came at the perfect time, because if this had been recorded like a week later after episode 9 instead of episode 8, Phoenix would definitely not have been number 1. But hey, Phoenix got his time in the sun at number 1, so good for him. Unfortunately, he got really borked hard by Matanza, but oh well. He'll come back. He does that. He does that a lot. Number 5, Rey Mysterio. Okay, cards on the table. I was worried about this. I was really worried that Mysterio was going to show up and he wasn't going to be in the greatest of shape. I mean, the guy's on the wrong side of 40 and his knees are basically held together with duct tape and prayers. So, and on top of that, we saw his last couple of years in WWE and they were not the greatest. Like, he was constantly racked with injuries, and he just lost a step from where he was during his heyday. And I'm not going to say he's quite back to that level, but I will say that Lucha Underground has found a good place for him. First off, he showed his resiliency quite well in Aztec Warfare, where he came out at number 2 and was the last man eliminated, effectively becoming the Iron Man of that match. Nicely done, sir. And then he got put into a trios team with Puma and Dragon Azteca, which is a great spot for him because Dragon Azteca and Prince Puma can do all the work, and Mysterio can come in for like 2 or 3 minutes, do some crazy cool stuff, go, hey everybody, it's me, it's Rey Mysterio, I am still Rey Mysterio. And then get right back out and let the other guys do some work before Ray picks up the finish. Perfect. Love everything about it. So, yeah, like Mysterio is quickly becoming a pretty legitimate force. The crowd is dying over him. They love Mysterio. Like, it's very rare that you see the entire crowd like trying to get high fives from the people coming down the ramp. Like, normally they just let the wrestlers come down the ramp or come down the stairs unabated and just let them do their thing. But Mysterio gets fucking mobbed every time he comes down because people are like, oh my god, Rey Mysterio is here. I can't believe this. This is fucking crazy. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. I actually have a Rey Mysterio mask. I've had one for years. 1 second. Okay, this is not a good look. Like, big hair, confined in a mask. Doesn't look great. So, moving on. Number 4. They call him Cage. Man, what I would not give to have Melissa Santos introduce me the same way she introduces Cage. 'Cause, damn. She wants some of the Cage, I think, and usually I'm not this creepy. This is weird. So, Cage. Damn. Cage is still looking really good. In Aztec Warfare, it took a cinder block to the dome to take him out. Good call there. At least he didn't go for the glass bottles. Good job on that one, Mundo. And then he got paired up with Johnny Mundo and Taya. And, that's just high-class quality. I'm enjoying that a whole bunch. Now, Cage got a few spots to shine, got to show off some real power moves, but possibly spot of the year in Lucha Underground so far, or spot of the season so far, was when Cage had, I believe it was Puma on his shoulders, caught Dragon Azteca, and like had both guys on him and still was strong enough to do like a overhead suplex. Holy shit, you are strong, sir. This season has just had people coming in, and Cage has still not lost his spot on the roster. He still looks unbelievably great. And I personally cannot wait until we get Matanza versus Cage or Muertes versus Cage. Like, I want to see Cage fight people. I really do. Cage is just... He is, quite honestly, one of the best strongman wrestlers I've ever seen. Like, he's right up there with Cesaro, okay? Oh my god, Cage versus Cesaro. I want a lot of that, please. But either way, Cage, he's not a man, etc., etc., etc. By the way, you may have noticed that, like, people are starting to kind of mock the whole "I'm not a man, I'm a machine." Like, after Cage left the room, Johnny Cage... I say Johnny Cage. Admittedly, if you put Johnny Mundo and Cage together, you basically get Johnny Cage. But either way, like, after Cage left the room, Mundo was like... like, Cage is one of those wrestlers who takes himself just seriously enough that it's really easy to take the piss out of him. See also Tyler Breeze in NXT. I mean, how many guys did the whole, like... How many? Like, I know at least Tommy did it, Finn did it, Bold Dempsey did it. A lot of people did that. It's easy to do and it gets them riled, so... And I can imagine there's going to be some people doing it for Cage, too. Alright, back to the list and enough showboating. Number 3, it's Prince Puma. Like, I was worried that Prince Puma was going to end up becoming a casualty at some point this season to something. I thought that at some point, like, either Pentagon would break his arm, or Matanza would ruin his shit, or Muertes would go psycho at one point and just, like, tear him apart. But Puma's managed to stay pretty relevant. Like, now he's in the trios team with Rey Mysterio and Dragon Azteca, which... With a lineup like that, you have to consider them the odds-on favorites to win the trios title, which, since they are the odds-on favorite, that means they probably won't win. I mean, there's a reason why Big Show doesn't win Battle Royales that often, because that would be dumb. But Puma's still looking really good, still pulling off crazy flippy shit that is among the best flippy shit in the world. So, yeah. Prince Puma holding down the fort, still putting on great matches every time he steps into the ring, like everything about it. Give me more Puma. I like it. Number 2, Mil Muertes. Oh boy, we are leading to a monster mash. Matanza versus Mil Muertes is going to be fucking crazy, and we're getting it next week. Now, granted, I'm fairly certain that they're not going to have Muertes win because, you know, Matanza just won the title and they're trying to make this guy look really, really, really strong. So they're, like, this is kind of a trope. They're going to feed the Season 1 monster to the Season 2 monster. It makes sense, but damn, this is going to be a fun match and I can't wait for it. Like, Muertes legitimately scares me. I'm just going to put that out there. Like, I do not want to get caught in an elevator with Mil Muertes. That would be some scary shit. Especially, like, with the yellow eyes that he has sometimes. Yikes. That's creepy stuff. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to when that happens. And on top of that, he's managed to stay pretty protected so far. Like, his only appearance in the last 4 episodes was in Aztec Warfare, in the ring at least, where it took several chair shots from Pentagon and some moves from the people in the ring to take him out. And he had to be double pinned, if I recall correctly, and he still kicked out at 3.5. So, yeah, like, Muertes is staying pretty protected, and on top of that, he nearly murdered the Disciples of Death by himself. So, they're still keeping him really, really strong. So that's good. That's going to make that match between him and Matanza that much better. And finally, number 1, as you might have expected, it's Matanza. So they've been building this guy up for a season and a half. Like, they've been doing everything in their power to make Matanza look amazing. And he is everything that I could have wanted and more. Like, so he comes out at Aztec Warfare. Oh my god, what is this thing? He is terrifying. And here's the thing. Every single elimination that Matanza had made perfect sense and made him look that much more imposing, and did something unique for him with each elimination. Oh, almost each elimination. Let me explain. First up was Phoenix, okay? He comes to the ring and eliminates Phoenix right from the get-go. And he's the Lucha Underground champion, so you're like, oh shit, we're dealing with something really big here. After that was the Mac. The Mac comes in, hits him with the stunner. All it does was nothing. It did absolutely nothing to the guy. Boom, eliminated. Then came Aerostar. Aerostar tried doing some flippy shit and got absolutely swatted. Boom, eliminated. Number 4 was Tejano. Tejano tried to use his bull rope, tried to choke the life out of him. Yeah, that didn't work either. Boom, eliminated. Number 5, Joey Ryan. Now, Joey Ryan was handcuffed to the ring railing, and all Matanza did was just grab it and went, tore the metal right out, and then, boom, eliminated. I might add, almost every elimination with a different move. This is going to be scary. Number 6 was Dragon Azteca. He comes in, hits him with some offense, gets a little bit of momentum going, and then Matanza just derails it in a second. Just boom, right out of nowhere, and dead. Dragon Azteca is eliminated. Then Chavo tried to get in with his silver tongue, and it didn't work, and Matanza hits him with a fucking moonsault. Dead, eliminated. And then finally, Puma and Mysterio is all that's left. A 2-on-1 assault from 2 of the best luchadors of our generation. Didn't work. Didn't work at all. Both of them eliminated. So that's 9 people. 9. Get it right, Matt Stryker. It's 9, not 8. 9 people just dead right away. And then from there, you have the 2 matches that he's had in recent weeks. First against Pentagon Jr. He murdered him. Nothing else you could say. Like, during the match, Pentagon was saying, I am hurt really bad. And Matanza was just like, yeah, I know. Boom! Yeah, I know that's not the move he actually uses, but oh well. And then 2 weeks ago, in episode 11, he fought Phoenix, and Phoenix got murdered as well. Like, I know that this is the man of 1,000 deaths, but he lost about a couple of hundred of them right there. So, yeah. Right now, we're headed towards a match between Matanza and Mil Muertes. That's going to be great. And I can't wait. Like, Lucha Underground has me really hyped for the coming episodes because, like, right now there's so much going on the roster. Like, at all levels, by the way. The upper card is great. The mid card is great. And even the lower card, whenever they get a chance to shine, they knock it out of the park. The tag team division is great. The female competitors are great. I love this show. I really do. Like, there's a reason that I keep doing these every month. It's because I am enjoying this product like crazy. Even as the WWE is finally starting to get better, I still prefer Lucha Underground. It is great. I love it. So with that, we're done here. I will see you guys next month for part 4 after we get past episode number 16. Bye, guys.